Pat, would you mind just giving an overview of kind of what's kind of happened and sort of what the response and kind of follow-up is going to be from the co-op?
Okay. Well, the most recent thing that occurred is we just had a very productive meeting with some folks who came here. One representative from the Peace and Justice Center, another one from the Workers Center, and then two folks up from the Vermont Chain Center. And I think what has evolved over the course of this week so far is that as we've been trying to communicate and respond and let people understand that we know what transpired and that certain things did transpire that were totally inappropriate with regards to a statement about English only, and subsequent conversations that continue to reinforce that, even though that wasn't the intent, because we made things worse. A lot of it, I think, is we thought our good intentions were going to come out and show to people, but what our intentions are and what people hear and how they receive it are two very different things. And that's been a big learning process for us. So there's communication about this particular incident, but I think what's more important is that this is a bigger issue about diversity within City Market and the work that we have to do with that. And the second part is then what can we do within the community, because Burlington continues to change. There's going to be more and more incidences of opportunities for something like this to happen if we don't get out in front of it and really start to educate people and get a better understanding of that different cross aspects of diversity and how we're going to deal with it.
And so going forward, are there plans to kind of work with some community partners, or?
What we talked about, and I'm pretty certain that we're comfortable discussing this right now because we just finished our conversation, but the intent was a couple of different things. One, we're going to put together a press release, a follow-up to the one we did, more specifically about acknowledgement that, we'd screwed up, but I think more importantly is, okay, what are we going to do going forward? And that is, we've gotten some good suggestions about different groups that we might work with on diversity training and language, and possibly doing more in-house here, where we bring somebody in and have a City Market sponsored opportunity for folks who wanted to have more training with English. But understanding how we present it to all of our English as a second language employees, how we come to them about that. And so my statement was we're going to reach out to the union, we're going to reach out to these different groups we talked with, other members within the community, and anybody who wants to do, we want to take and do that here in City Market. But I think it's really important that we then use this as a vehicle to go out into the community.
And a City Market is a co-op that's owned by its members, kind of, and a lot of the sort of controversy has happened on social media. How has sort of being a co-op meant that you've dealing with this situation? How has that been different than if City Market had just been a traditional for-profit business, do you think?
Well, Matt, you've talked a lot in the past about sort of the significance of co-ops, and I think what is happening is this was a very graphic representation to me and a lot of people of the higher standard that a co-op is held to. We have voluntary membership, we have all the principles of the co-op, part of which is serving the community. The board has charged me with, as a general manager, making sure that City Market is a vehicle of good health in the community. And so I realize there's a different standard for us, and we need to work better to live up to that. And as I said before, simply because we assumed that we were doing good things doesn't necessarily mean that that's what the resultant aspect of it was. So we learn from it, and we will continue to learn from it.
And so for, in the future when, other members kind of have concerns with the co-op, what are the ways that you see as the kind of the best ways for them to kind of engage with with the organization in terms of getting those needs met?
A lot of different aspects, a lot of avenues rather for communication. Me directly, just coming to the store and saying, Pat, I need to talk to you about this, or sending me an email. We have a board with 9 members who are responsible to all 9,500 members that we have. But it's equally important for everybody to understand that you don't have to be a member to bring an issue to City Market. We are responsible for serving the needs of the community that surrounds us. We do have a lot of member purchases here, but we also have a significant amount of what we do here is for non-members, and that's still our obligation that we take very seriously to represent all aspects, all parts of the community, members or non-members.
And so you mentioned the board. Has the board been a part of this process, or is the board kind of in this particular issue, or is the board sort of stepped back and allowed sort of management to take the lead?
The board, I've worked hard to try and keep the board appraised of what was going on from our standpoint. They certainly all have friends in the community who have been reaching out to them and approaching them with what's going on. The appropriate response as the board, Molly O'Brien, who's our president, is speaking as the voice of the board, but she also has deferred a lot of the conversations and the operational things to me, because that's my responsibility is to handle the operations. They're there to advise me on policy, but it's still my responsibility is the operations, and then come back and report to them. But they've made time on the agenda for Monday night to talk more about this, become fully briefed about it, even above what I sent them already, to be more fully briefed, and so we'll go from there on Monday night and give them more information.
And then, so the 2nd of December is when the sort of official grievance comes up. What do you see as the kind of the way forward from there?
I think, I think that both sides, both the union and city market, are at the point now where we're pretty much saying the same thing in terms of expectations of what will happen going forward. And I would hope that that will be the resolution that we'll need to have the grievance go away. So.
Awesome. Any other thoughts you want to add about this situation or reflections?
No, I mean, it's been a tremendous learning experience. It's been a very interesting, stressful, learning, dynamic week, and I think you, Matt, you said it before about the folks that were really upset. There are a lot of them who were upset because they're members of the co-op, and they were saying, I expected better of you from the co-op. And it's nice that people care about the co-op that much, that they put that much energy into what they were talking about.
Awesome. Well, thank you for taking the time to have a conversation.
Thanks for coming in.